Today, we are diving deep into one of the most transformative technologies out there, generative AI. Now, you've absolutely heard the buzz, you've probably even played around with it, but we're going to pull back the curtain and really get a look at what's going on under the hood. Just to give you a sense of how massive this is, think about this. ChatGPT got to 100 million users in just 2 months. 2 months! That just shatters records set by giants like TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, this is not some niche tech trend. This is a full-blown global phenomenon, and you need to know how it works. So what even is this new kind of AI? You know, we hear all these terms thrown around: machine learning, deep learning. It can get pretty confusing. So let's clear it up and see exactly where generative AI fits into the big picture. Okay, let's start at the 30,000-foot view. You've got the huge, overarching field of artificial intelligence, AI. That's the whole idea of making machines smart. Now, inside of that, you have a major subfield called machine learning, which is all about teaching computers by just showing them tons and tons of data instead of hard-coding the rules. Now, let's zoom in one more level. As a part of machine learning, we find deep learning. This is where things get really wild. It uses these super complex structures called neural networks, which are kind of inspired by the human brain, to find really intricate patterns in data. And here we are, our final stop. Tucked right inside of deep learning is our star for today, generative AI. So you see, it's not some completely separate thing. It's the absolute cutting edge, built on decades of research from all these other fields. And here is the most crucial point, the one thing to remember. Generative AI is all about creation. It doesn't just look at data and analyze it. It learns from all that data to generate something totally new, something original, whether that's an email, a picture, or even a song. So the difference couldn't be clearer. Traditional AI is analytical. It's like a detective. It identifies things, it categorizes them, it makes predictions. But generative AI, it's a creator. Its goal is to produce brand new content. That is the game-changing leap we're seeing. Okay, so it creates new stuff. We get that. But how? I mean, it really can feel like magic, right? Well, there's a pretty fascinating process going on behind the scenes. Let's take a look. One of the key techniques that makes this all possible is called a generative adversarial network, or GAN for short. And that word adversarial is the real key here, because it's literally a system where two AIs are competing against each other to get smarter. You've got one called the generator and another called the discriminator. And the whole idea is actually pretty simple to grasp. Imagine a game between an expert art forger and an equally expert art critic. The generator, that's our forger, creates a fake piece of art. Then the discriminator, our critic, has to spot if it's a fake. Every single time the forger gets caught, it learns from its mistakes and creates an even better fake next time. And this battle just goes on, forcing the generator to get so unbelievably good that eventually the expert critic can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. And this is what you get from all that back and forth. A traditional model, a discriminative one, looks at a picture and says, "Yep, that's a dog." But a generative model, after being trained in that fiery competition, can be told, hey, create a dog, and it will generate a completely new photorealistic image of a dog that has never existed. And this creative power can be used in so many ways. You start with a simple text input, a few words, and from that, the AI can generate this whole spectrum of outputs. It can write an essay, it can create a stunning image, it can whip up a video, or even compose audio. And what's really cool is it's not a one-way street. You can also start with an image. Give the AI a picture, and it can generate a perfect caption for it, or answer really specific questions about what's happening in the photo. It can even take that static image and bring it to life with animation. The flexibility is just incredible. So we have this unbelievably powerful tool at our fingertips, but how do we control it? How do we tell it exactly what we want it to create? Well, that's where we humans come back into the picture, and it is all about mastering the art of the prompt. A prompt is really just the instruction you give to the AI. Simple as that. It can be a question, a command, a detailed description, whatever. But it is the single most important part of the whole process because it sets the entire direction for what the AI is about to generate. And getting good at this is a genuine skill. It's actually got a name, prompt engineering. It's not just about asking a basic question. It's about carefully designing and tweaking that question to squeeze the absolute best result out of the model. You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, here, it's quality in, quality out. So how do you get good at this? Well, it really comes down to 3 basic steps. First, define your objective. Know exactly what you're trying to do. Second, design really clear instructions. Be super explicit. For instance, instead of just saying, write about dogs, try something way better, like write a 100-word paragraph for a 5th grader about why golden retrievers are great family pets in a friendly and encouraging tone. See the difference? We gave it context, a format, a specific audience, and a tone. And third, you just refine and iterate. See what it gives you back, tweak your prompt, and try again. It's truly a conversation with the machine. Now, with any technology this powerful, this disruptive, we can't only talk about all the amazing things it can do. We also have to talk about the new and very complex problems that come along with it. This brings us to the bigger and, frankly, more important questions. Because this new power brings some serious challenges. First, these models are trained on the internet, the whole messy thing, so they can absolutely inherit our biases. They can also hallucinate, which is a nice way of saying they just make stuff up and state it with 100% confidence. Then you've got huge, thorny legal questions around copyright, very real concerns about data privacy, and, of course, massive security risks. These are the big problems that everyone is trying to solve right now. So we've built this incredible engine that can generate endless new worlds of text, images, and ideas. And the ultimate question that leaves us with is this. When things go wrong in those worlds, when they cause real harm, who's responsible? That is the profound challenge we now have to solve, together.